So, Masai Ujiri, he broke down when he was talking about Pascal Siakam. So I know I've made a lot of videos talking about Pascal Siakam's trade from the Raptors to the Pacers. And Masai Ujiri, in a recent press conference, he was emotional where he was talking about the Raptors and Pascal Siakam parting ways. And let's just talk about this. So, in the lead up to Pascal Siakam getting traded to the Pacers, I remember in a video I talked about the way the Raptors mismanaged. They failed to communicate to Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam really loved the Raptors. He wanted to stay there, and Masai Ujiri, what he did was he used an old age tactic of ignoring the superstar, ignoring the star player so that they can try to frustrate him so that he can demand for a trade, or if he doesn't demand for a trade they can just trade him away or just make him available for trade. So in the summer of 2023 they are looking for trade partners to get rid of Pascal Siakam, and looking at that, Masai Ujiri did not want to pay Pascal Siakam max dollars because he was eligible for a max contract. So he admits that, and he apologized to Pascal Siakam for not communicating well, and he broke down in tears. And Masai Ujiri and Pascal Siakam had a breakdown in their relationship over the summer, which prompted Masai Ujiri to call his star player selfish and brought about the public response um, from Siakam. Now that the saga is over, Ujiri admitted that he should have made a better effort at keeping Pascal Siakam happy. Honestly, this is just a plain lie because the writing was on the wall. If you saw like what the Raptors were doing in after they won the championship, they were just getting rid of that roster. They got rid of, after Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green left, Kyle Lowry, he left the team. You saw Fred VanVleet, he walked in free agency. You saw visibly, you could see there was some frustrations, especially when it came to the coaching staff. You could see that they got a new coach in there. What else happened? Well, they went ahead and traded away OG Anunoby, and the last domino for that 2019 Raptors championship team was Pascal Siakam. So they just wanted to get a new identity of the team. So in he was quoted as saying, I think some lines of communication in the summer were not the greatest just because sometimes I don't have answers. The answer was he didn't want to give him the max contract. And sometimes the answer that I'm giving you is the same answer that I'm going to give you the next time we speak to you. But based on my relationship, Pascal deserved that I gave that even if I gave him the over communication, which I didn't, and I apologized to him for it. I apologized to him because before the season started, and I apologized to him again recently. So that part I'm not particularly proud of, but there are so many things in our business that bring about this type of communication or non-communication. So you can see he's trying to take accountability, but the trade has already gone through. So whatever he says now is just damage control. He didn't want to pay Pascal Siakam max dollars. He's out there crying crocodile tears. I'm not feeling emotional one bit about this whole situation. You claim to like Africans, but you can't give an African a max contract. Here's Pascal Siakam, if he stayed with the Raptors, he was eligible for that near max, like near super max, like at the 170, 180 million dollar range, or even 197 or even 200, but you didn't want to pay him that much because you knew that you wanted to rebuild. So what you tried to do was frustrate Pascal Siakam, make him not want to be there, ghost him, do not tell him the truth. That's what you're trying to do. So even if you come here and start crying, it's just, you're just lying, man. You're just lying to us. So there was a breakdown in communication. You ghosted Pascal Siakam in the 2019 2020, not even 2019, 2023 off season. That's the time where players who had expiring contracts were just looking for some type of extension. You didn't want to extend Pascal Siakam. You wanted to see if you can just wait it out and see if you can trade him out in the trade deadline and look for the best deal. So it was just a transaction for you. You didn't care about Pascal Siakam. You didn't care about having him on the roster. You just wanted to trade him away so that you can be able to like rebuild with Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and all those guys. Emmanuel Quigley, Gary Trent Jr. You saw that the Raptors, you wanted to take the Raptors in a different direction, and Pascal Siakam was not part of the picture. So as much as this guy was trying to, cry tears, he's just trying to cover up the accountability, and he didn't want people to know the exact truth. So I've covered it in the previous video. I just keep on saying this. Pascal Siakam was eligible for a maximum contract extension. Masai Ujiri did not want to pay him, and that's the reason as to why Pascal Siakam is now wearing a Pacers jersey. That's the reason as to why Masai Ujiri wanted to take that Raptors team to a different direction, and Pascal Siakam was not in it, and that's the reason as to why he got traded. So if that is if that is the whole truth, Masai Ujiri can come out and say, I followed him. I was the one who they met in the Basketball Without Borders in South Africa. He can claim all that, all that jazz, But the Raptors were going in a different direction. They want to rebuild. They want to test out new players, and they don't want to carry on a player that they've had, the longest tenured player in there. So they just said, let's just cut off Siakam and make sure to just cut him loose so that they can just go ahead on a rebuild. So what Masai Ujiri doesn't want to say is the Raptors are on a rebuild. I don't want to say that. So he didn't want to pay him. That's the whole point. I know a lot of videos are going to be produced talking about other things, but this is what I'm saying right here. Masai Ujiri and the Raptors did not want to pay Pascal Siakam. That's the reason as to why he got traded, and they tried to frustrate him in every single way. Can come in, cry, and tell you a different story, but that is the truth. That's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think about this whole situation, what you think about Pascal Siakam, what you think about the Toronto Raptors and Masai Ujiri, the way they have been dealing with their star players. Because remember in 2018 when Masai Ujiri and the Raptors, they were there when Dwayne Casey got fired after winning Coach of the Year. They traded away their franchise player in DeMar DeRozan to get Kawhi Leonard, knowing that he was a one-year rental. He was gonna go anyway. Then you could see what they did with Fred VanVleet, and they let him go in free agency. You can see what they did to OG Anunoby. Where are those tears then? I know Pascal Siakam, you hold him dear, but why didn't you cry when you traded away DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard? Why didn't Masai Ujiri cry when Kawhi Leonard left for free agency and Danny Green left? Why didn't you cry when you let Kyle Lowry go? Why didn't you cry when you let Fred VanVleet go? Why didn't you cry when you traded away Norman Powell? Why didn't you cry when you traded away OG Anunoby and you let Fred VanVleet walk in free agency? Why are you crying now because it's Pascal Siakam? Is it because he's African? Nah, man, you have to come out and say it clearly. So that I feel like this is a deflection tactic and it's disingenuous, and I don't allow it, honestly. And that's my whole sentiment when it comes to it. So if you guys like the video, leave your feedback down in the comment section what you think about this, and I'm out. Peace.